Accelerate your dealership success. This is the Car Guy Simple Podcast, powered by PMD. Sit back and buckle up as we provide you insight into the minds of buyers, tactics for success, and proven ways to turbocharge your dealership. Here's your host, Joe Levine.
Hi, I'm Joe Levine. Welcome to Car Guy Simple, the podcast for everybody in retail, wholesale, regardless of where you are, what side of the fence you sit on. If you're in the automobile business, we want to be able to talk, right? That's what we're here for. And today we have the benefit. See, when in our environment, in our pod, we don't pay guests and guests never pay us. That's just not how this works. And as your host, it's always a pleasure when I get the opportunity to introduce somebody that I've known for a really long time, that's become a really close friend and somebody that I admire. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the world-famous, heart-stomping, mic-talking, phone call taking, world-famous trainer in the automobile business, consultant in the automobile business, the man that everybody looks to for answers, Mr. Tom Stuker. Welcome, Tom.
Hey,
welcome,
Joe.
welcome.
Hey, first of all, I'm so glad to be here, but you and I go way back. In fact, way back. But and you've done so many things for me, and you've done so many things for dealers, especially in the wheelhouse that you have with advertising, promotion, digital, everything. So I'll do anything for you, and you need me to come. I'm here on a moment's notice.
You heard it
here. Yeah. I just, you're a car guy, I'm a car guy, so let's talk to car guys.
Well, let's do that.
Car people.
Let's do that. Let's do that. And I think for those that may have skipped the first, 10 chapters of the how-to book,
yeah.
Would you mind just going over your background a little bit first before we dig in here and talk about some stuff?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm older than dirt.
No.
I think I sold Moses his first chariot.
There you go.
Well, at least it was a Buick Opel, maybe. I don't know.
Boom.
It's my 50th year in the car business.
Wow.
Exactly 50th year. So I started in September of 1975.
Okay.
I was, wow, it's been a while.
Couple days.
Yep. So I started off because I wanted to make some money. And other jobs either took a license, like insurance or real estate, and I wasn't interested in going to school and I quit college after 3 years, so I wasn't ready to go back to school again. So I wanted something to make money, and like I said, real estate, insurance, took licenses, and I wasn't going to go work at a clothing store in the mall where it was like $8 an hour and all the clothes you could fold or something. I don't know, but the car business was interesting. Ironically, my first demo, they gave demos out back in the 70s, but my demo was a stick shift. Everybody had left. They threw me the keys, and I didn't know how to drive a stick shift. I learned a stick shift. It's a long story, but not maybe for another podcast. But here, Joe, I got into business. I had the two things that I look for in salespeople. When I'm hiring, I look for work ethic. And that's one thing I got from my father and his father. So I'm all about work ethic, right? Another one is manageability. Tell me what to do and I'll do it, right? I'm not going to question you until I start selling 20 cars a month. And of course I do, but like everybody else. But no, those are the two things I had. And that's what got me through 50 years. But I left the car business. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with the management. I don't want to get into specifics, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy in the car business anymore. So I had one foot out the door. I went across the street to the Pontiac store, which was even worse because they're more interested in selling hot television sets off the back of a truck than they are Pontiac Bonnevilles and stuff like that. So another bad chapter. I left the car business thinking I was as good as I could get, and when I was as bad as I could get and didn't know the difference, right? I mean, I was the second best salesperson. The only guy outselling me was Sammy Moore, and he was there for 30-something years, and I didn't want to wait another 30 years to sell four more cars a month in my head, right? So I wanted to move on. I was ready to quit the car business, and the Pontiac store bought some follow-up system. It was a computer follow-up system back in the 70s, and the computer was just coming about at the end of the 70s, and having a computer back then means you had a room. It was like a one bedroom, like it was a room with a computer the size of a car. Right. That doesn't do what an iPhone could do today. Right. And they were 100,000. They had to be refrigerated. I think you remember all that stuff. Anyway, the guy came in. Part of the package was they're going to show me how to use a phone. And I said, okay, teach me how to use a phone. I'm pretty good on the phone. No shortage egos in the car business, including mine.
That's
right?
true.
No shortage egos. And me included back then, I thought it was pretty hot stuff. And so he had one piece of paper with 8 little bullet points on how to make an outbound call. And he says, okay, who wants to make a call? Well, I said, give me the phone. Give me the phone. I'll do it. All right. Yes, I dialed a number. It was the rotary phones back then. And so they gave me a 4-year-old orphan owner book, which is the dumbest thing. We could cover that maybe a little later. The dumbest thing to start a salesperson off is 4-year-old orphan owners, right? So I called one. The first one, there was no answer. Remember, not too many people had answering machines at all back then either. So the first one, nobody answered, and I said, good thing they didn't answer the phone because I would have sold them a car. I'm really good at the people I don't have to talk to.
Right.
So then I called the next one, and I'm staring at this piece of paper so I do what they asked me to do. And, I started the call the worst possible way to start a call. I froze, man. I froze with everybody looking at me, and I'm supposed to make a live call in front of everybody. And the guy picks up the phone. I said, is this so-and-so? And the guy says, no, you have the wrong number. And I'm ready to hang up. And somehow, and I never, ever forgot that phrase when somebody across the room shouted out, wrong numbers buy cars too. And I'm saying, okay, smarty pants, we'll see how this goes. So instead of trying to loosen it up and build a rapport with the customer, I go, are you in the market for a car? Which is like a bull in a china shop.
Sure it is.
The absolutely worst way to start any call. And the guy goes, as a matter of fact, I am. I mean, God was with me that day. I mean, my angel was over my shoulder and says, okay, I'm going to help you out on this one, but you're on your own after this. So I literally, the guy says, as a matter of fact, I am. And I said, well, then why don't you come in? He goes, slow down. Who are you? Where are you calling from? Well, my name is Tom Stuker. I'm calling from blank, 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 Pontiac. And he goes, tell me, do you have a Bonneville station wagon? I go, yes, we do. I said, come on in and test drive. I'm all about it. Yeah, this to do it. He goes, slow down. He goes, why don't you send me a catalog first? And I'm going, okay, I want to go with the customer. Let's not push it and lose them. So I send him a catalog. Wait a minute, this is a wrong number. This can't be the right address. How am I going to get this guy's address from the guy? Now, when I've been doing training for 45 years now, I give people the script. I said, just follow the script. It's not as easy as it seems on the first couple calls, because you could stare at the techniques. You could have it right in front of you, and somehow your brain's going a different direction. So I go, I'm trying to get the guy's address. I go, do you know where you live? The guy goes, yes. And I'm going, what do we do next? What's your address? Well, then put it on the paper next time, right? The bottom line is, I destroyed the first call I did with the training. Destroyed it. Couldn't have done a worse job. But within about 10 days, sold and delivered a Bonneville station wagon. Somehow. On that very day, I said, if I could be this bad on the phone and sell cars, if I get really good, I could be unstoppable. I decided that day, Joe, almost 50 years ago, I'm going to be the best on the phone that the industry's ever had. I believe I did achieve that.
So let me ask you this. Is it more fun at this point in your career? Because we do go back a long time. I mean, I remember, you mentioned Grant. So Cardone, Stuker, and Levine, remember out in San Francisco at NADA? Yep. It seems like 100 years ago, and there was a triple bill on the stage together. We've done a lot of things.
It was in
together.
the 80s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. At this point in your career, what's more fun for you? Let's start with fun. Is it still the thrill of closing that deal when you're visiting stores, or is it the training, that the Vince Lombardi, John Madden merging thing with cause and effect and getting people to achieve levels that they never even saw possible potentially? What's more fun to you?
Joe, it's all about the training. It's all about probably the best student I ever had was Grant Cardone, without a doubt. I mean,
Grant,
he gets
it.
When I first met Grant, he came to my workshop and training down in Louisiana back in the 80s. He was about a 10-car a month salesperson. He was making $3,000 a month. And probably the best, without a doubt, the best student. And to this day, I have so much respect. I call Grant a sponge. And I don't mean a sponge like a cheap friend of mine. I'm talking about a sponge like Grant is still every single day.
He's a good student.
Oh my God. He literally, his day is literally open. What can I learn? How can I bring it to a whole new level? I mean, he's constantly
But so I want to talk about Tom. Grant, we love you. That's your plug. Everybody go 10X. Go, let's go. I love you, Grant. Love you.
Joe, the bottom line is, I love the training because somewhere out there is the next Tom Stuker, the next Grant Cardone, the next Alan Ram was one of my people. I mean, Mike Overy, Danny Happen, all these people who are great, great people. But
it all started with one, and that was you. And Grant, you'll be in that chair. Yeah. Just a matter of trying to figure out when you have downtime, which is never, maybe the 8th day of the week when you change the schedules and calendars around, man. We'd like to get you in here.
Tremendous respect for that.
100%. Yeah. What, here's a good one for you. It just occurred to me, right? In your opinion, what is it going to take to make the next great Grant? How does that happen? What makes who's the next Grant going to be, and how did they get there?
Oh, there's thousands of them out there just waiting to happen.
But don't name names. What components does it take to put together the next Grant?
Well, I'm going to probably cover this we're going to do an episode on management, and I'm going to get into that with the hiring process and much more in depth. But the two things I look for more than anything else is work ethic and manageability. When I do a management class and I said, what are the top 2 things that you look for? Everybody gives me everything but those 2 words. And I said, well, I don't have all day, so let's speed it up. I'll give you a hint. It's something your father had, his father had, and his father had, and it gets worse every generation. And immediately everybody says work ethic. It reminds me of that movie. You remember Christmas movie with Chevy Chase, right? And you remember Randy Quaid or something that was in there? And he's talking to Randy's wife. He says, what was the character's name? I forget. Eddie. Has Eddie got a job yet? And his wife says, well, Clark, he's holding out for a management position. I mean, and
I do remember.
That's this new generation. They all want to start at the top.
Right.
Like.
That's bad? Wait.
No, but, there's a saying that says everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die, So I'm not trying to kill anybody, but, start at the bottom. You know how many dealers are built that started off as a salesperson or started off on a lot or something like that and build it from the bottom up? Yeah. So it's when I get into the episode of management, and I'm asking every manager, make sure you watch that episode where I talk about, the 4 pillars of building a sales team that is undeniable great. When you said the next salesperson, at the end of the day, I could train a monkey to sell 20 cars a month. I really can. Last time I did a 20 group, and I mentioned that, 8 of them asked for the number of the zoo, But when I don't, let's get 2 things really straight in this car business. So let's eliminate all the BS as far as why people aren't selling X amount of units, right? Let's use the number 20. I think 20 is the number. If I had a dealership tomorrow, my bar is at 20 sales a month.
Per salesperson.
Per salesperson.
Okay.
I want each salesperson to be 20 or more. And it can happen and it will happen because, again, when we do the management episode, we're going to go step by step how to build that team, all right? But in the meantime, let's use the word, the number 20, because it's inexcusable why the average salesperson is doing 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 units a month. Inexcusable.
So do you believe that when we come back from the break, we're going to be in a position to take those 8s and 9s and 12s and 13s and get them to see a path to how to get to 20 and 25
Yes.
plus? You believe that?
Yep. Well,
you gave it to me on a silver.
By the end of this episode, any salesperson will at least have, I mean, we're not going to give them a 2-day workshop, but we'll give them the outline.
Okay.
We'll give them the outline that will say from this day forward, right? From this day forward, I have a chance at 20 units a month.
You heard it here first, or second, third, possibly. But we're going to hold them to that. We're going to hold you to that.
Oh, no, Joe, wait a minute.
We come back from the break.
The guys that are doing 20 now, I'll show them that it's easier to go from 20 to 40 than it is 5 to 10.
You heard it here first. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to dive right into the topic that I've been waiting all day to get to with you, and that is phone skills, their application, the practice, the prep, just phone skills in general. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Hi, Tom Stuker here, and I've been doing this for 45 years. Nobody knows phones like Stuker. If your salespeople aren't doing 20 units a month, they either don't want to or don't know how. If they don't know how, I'll show them. And for those already doing 20, I'll show you that it's easier to go from 20 to 40. If you want to dramatically improve your dealership success, now's your chance. Find my contact info at the bio of this episode. Call or email me today. If you're one of the first 10 callers, I'll give your dealership a free 30-minute Zoom sales training course. So call me. Let's get this party started.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's continue this. I mean, Tom, let's get right to the heart of this, right?
Sure.
You are undeniably the person that anybody that I know, including myself, looks to you when it comes to phone skills. So what I'd like to do is spend time just going in whatever direction that swim lane takes us, back, forward, sideways. You know, why do we need them? What has changed? Whatever you think our audience could really benefit from. The idea, the goal of this podcast is always come up with concepts, solutions, ideas, tactics that we can employ as soon as we get off this pod, whether we're listening or watching. And thank you again, as you've heard me say before, tell your friends. So with that, phone skills. So what?
Okay, well, 50 years on, the more things change, the more things stay the same.
It's true.
An awful lot of the techniques that I've been training for 50 years are still in play, especially on the outbound call. What's changed a lot significantly, obviously, let's go one at a time. The inbound call has changed just exponentially.
How?
Well, when I was selling cars, there was no internet. There was no, the customers didn't have resources of information outside of a catalog or something, a pamphlet or something. And so they came to the dealership and kicked tires. That's why, obviously, one of the things is our traffic counts are way down because there's buyers coming in, not tire kickers. So that's really good, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, and I'm going to get into the management part, obviously, that's a very key thing to talk about. But the phone ups, when they called back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, it was, I'm looking for, we're thinking about, right? Do you have one of these? Do you have any of this? It's changed. Today's phone up is, I see you have. That's how they start off. They do their homework. They say, I see you have a red Bronco. It's stock number 2406.
Yep.
I see you have it listed at 28.7. Is that out the door? Is there any other things I have to pay for?
So do you keep that conversation rolling faster, or do you still use the things that I grew up on from you? You don't need it today, do you?
Exactly.
How are you slowing them down, or do you want to slow them down?
Boy, that's a really good point, Joe, because, and this is something I can't drive home enough, and that starts at the top with the management. For 50 years, they're still making the same mistakes. We're not training people to sell cars. We're training people to help someone that wants to buy one. And that's a big difference, Joe. It's just on a phone up, If the car they're looking for is already gone, you don't answer by saying, oh, you just missed it by a day. And people say these things, but I have some other coming in. For first of all, about 1 out of 3 people buy something almost completely different than they called in on.
Do you still agree with the old school tactics? Because there's retailers out there that are still doing this stuff. The stock book isn't available. Just give me your name and number. I'll call you back. Or give me your phone number. I'll get it. I'll talk to my manager and call you. Do customers allow that behavior
Oh my God,
still?
please no, because that's the way I was taught 50 years ago when idiots were
So what do you do?
First of all, you know what you're just saying? You're just saying, here, I know that when you're done with me, if I don't give you the information, you're just going to call the other dealership. So tell you what, give me your name and number. I'll call you back in about 10 minutes to find out you already have an appointment and are already on your way somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, you get one shot at a person calling in, for God's sake. You got to literally, and people say, what's the number one focus on a phone up? Believe it or not, it's not setting an appointment. Oh, come on. Setting appointments is the most important thing. No, it's an obvious thing, but it's not the most important thing.
What is?
The most important thing is motivating a customer to come into your dealership today. On a Monday, anybody can make appointments for Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. Most people will make appointments for Saturday, right? And anybody could do that. We need more appointments on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So how do you motivate someone to come in?
So let's zero in now and separate. I'd like to separate the phone ups into 2 separate swim lanes, incoming and outgoing.
All right.
Well,
on
so let's talk about incoming first.
Well,
Somebody
on an
calls
incoming phone up, first of all, and so many salespeople don't know how to set an appointment.
No.
Right?
It's true.
And some of the different techniques are so lame and stupid, like the either or appointment. So let's get together. Is 2:45 or 3:15 more convenient for you? There's nothing that says that either the odd 2:45, 3:15. The guy doesn't get off work till 5 o'clock. So let's choose between these two things.
Well, let's role play it. Let me be the caller.
All right. Okay.
Let me be the caller.
So here's how I get to the appointment. So Joe, when are you more available, during the daytime or evening?
Well, I work during the day, Tom, so probably evening would be better for me. What time are you open till?
We're open to 9 o'clock tonight. How does 7 sound? Okay, hold on for a second. The reason why I put 7 there is because it's very likely that you're going to want to say something earlier or later, which is what I want you to say. I don't say, that's how does 7 o'clock sound? It's because you're probably going to say, well, let's make it a little later. Let's make it a little earlier. Joe, you pick a time. Your schedule, you know your schedule better than I, so pick it up from there. Joe, you pick a time. You know your schedule better than I do.
I would like to do 7:30, 7:45, so because by the time I get home, walk the dog, have dinner, get yelled at by my wife.
Well, let's
not really. Just kidding.
Okay,
on that
Joe. Let's look at 7:30. Hold on a second. Let me check my
Sure.
Let me check my calendar.
Okay.
So if you immediately say 7:30, why are you automatically available 24 hours a day? Don't you have anything else to do? So I want to make sure that you believe that I'm a very busy and accomplished salesperson. So 7:30, let me check my calendar, Joe, and I'll pause for a second. By the way, this might be the third 7:30 appointment I've set today, right? I mean, because half the appointments don't show up, and the other half come early or late. Like nobody comes on time. Anyway, welcome to the car business. So let me check my calendar. So 7:30. Now this write this one down, guys. Right. 7:30, I should be done by then. Now listen, I should be done by then. So it accomplishes a lot of things. First of all, it tells the customer that you're a very busy and successful person because you already have somebody already coming in, right? Also, what happens at 7:15 and all the salespeople are busy and an up comes in? I can't blow this up off. I got to take them. So if I'm with a customer, I've covered myself. Oh, that's the person that they're wrapping up with, that he should be done by then. So it accomplishes a lot of things. 7:30, I should be done by then. Okay. Do you know how to get to our dealership, Joe?
Yes, I've driven by it.
Okay. By the way, will this, my first trial close already on a phone up. Will this be your first purchase from our dealership?
It would, yes.
Okay. So again, when that's another topic when people come in the dealership, how the first 30, 60 seconds is where you close your deals, right?
Agree.
But we'll talk about that another time. So, Joe, all right, with your permission, I'll text you some more information on that vehicle, right? Now, me personally, I'll go out to the video and do a selfie so he knows what I look like, and I'll get really excited. I might even move the camera out and say, I'm sorry, I'm not the best cameraman, Joe, but I can't wait to show you this car. We've had a lot of calls on it today, so please be here at 7:30, right?
But we're not talking about going right to your personal PDA, because that's a problem. You're going to take that video and push it through the CRM and send it, right?
Oh, no, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Dealership rules. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything's communicated through the CRM, right? Without a doubt.
Well, it leaves a paper trail behind it of sorts.
And protects me as a salesperson if they forget my name.
Well, how much of a knowledge diploma do you want to give them on the phone? You're trying to, so you've established 7:30, you've set the tone, you've got them excited, you're going to send them a video. Before you hang up with them, what are the two most important things? Let's drill this down. The two most important things that you need to leave that caller with before you hang up with them.
Well, okay. Well, there's several, but one is, Joe, with your permission, I'm going to text you my contact details because I want him to have all my contact details automatically populated into his phone.
Love that.
Second thing is, Joe, before you come in, can I ask you a small favor?
Sure.
Yes, I'm going to ask Joe for a referral. I said, Joe.
Darn right you are. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, I know. See?
Let's go.
So many salespeople go, oh, I would never do that. Oh, no. Yeah, and I would never sell 20 cars a month either, right? So I would never do that.
Go ahead, ask me.
Come on. So, hey, Joe, before you come in, can I ask you for a small favor?
Sure.
I get most of my business down here from repeats and referrals from people just like yourself, Joe. Who do you know besides yourself, maybe a friend, a relative, a neighbor, someone you've talked to recently that one of these days might also be thinking about some type of vehicle for themselves? Now, Joe, who's the first person that comes to your mind?
My uncle.
Now, why do you say your uncle? Has he talked about it at all?
He has.
Okay. Now, what is he thinking? New, used?
He's looking to lease a new something to replace what he's driving.
Okay. Now, just between you and I, especially with the sale going on, which is another thing. Every phone up always starts off, calling about the sale, calling about the sale, calling about the sale. Why would you say that? Well, yeah, but what if you don't have a sale? Then you just keep thinking that because they're going to call me and I'm going to say calling about the sale. And no offense, but if you're shopping around for something like a TV or something, and one of the four people who called saying calling about the sale, where do you think you want to go?
So you like to set the trend right
Yes.
out of hi, my name is Tom Stuker. You calling about the big sale today? You like that?
I told you the number one goal for a salesman is to motivate a customer to come in today.
So that's the first thing, right?
Yeah.
Before you hang up, you got to get them
On
motivated.
the very first, this is Tom speaking.
Right.
Are you calling about the sale? Wait till you hear how many people go, yeah, I'm calling about the sale. I just made it up and they knew about it already, right? But that's pretty good. No, are you calling about the sale? And yes, do I believe I'm BSing people? No, because if I discount the car a penny, it's on sale, isn't it? All right. Back in the day, the 80s, there's people that weren't even born when we did this. Do you remember when Toyota and Honda on their Accords and their Camrys had 3-day supply of cars, and every car sold at 25 or 3,000 over sticker?
Of course.
All right. So I was training back in stores. They would call about a Camry that we would start at 3,000 over sticker. And I go, are you calling about the sale? People would come in and say, oh, I thought they were on sale. We hit them at 3,000 over. I thought they're on sale. Oh, no, they are. Do you know last week they were up at 5,000 over sticker? But my boss says, get rid of them.
Okay, so motivation is the first thing.
Yes.
Real quick, what's the second most important thing that you need to get them to be down with before you hang up?
Well, I mean, I guess I saw myself like here's part of the motivation, because I want them to know. I want them to know that I'm the person they really want to talk to, right? Like, for instance, the role play with me, Joe. Joe, is this a cash deal or is there a trade involved?
I have a trade.
See, that's even better, right? Talk about motivating a customer. Why wouldn't you do something like this? So is it a cash deal or is it another vehicle involved? I'm trading a car, and that's even better. Do the cash one. Is it cash or is it a trade involved?
It's a cash deal. I
See,
think.
that's even better. So whatever they say, that's even better. So do you have a trade involved? What do you have to trade, Joe?
I have a Chevy Tahoe.
Okay. Now give me an either or in a Tahoe. Is it a 6 or an 8 cylinder? Would that be an either or?
It's an 8-cylinder.
No, wait a minute. What do Tahoes come in 6 and 8?
Sure.
No, they don't.
No.
So what's an either or? This package or that package?
Is it a package 1 or 2? You
Okay,
could just try to keep it simple.
So is it a package 1 or a package 2?
It's a 2. I spent all the money on this one.
See, now, yes, Yes, right? So this customer's thinking, I'm going to get a lot of money for my trade, right? Yes. Now, is it a light color or dark color?
It's a dark color.
Perfect. Now, Joe, if that Tahoe is in any kind of shape at all, how many people got a car that's in any kind of shape at all? This guy goes, oh, I'm 4 for 4 here, Yeah, it is. Well, if it's in any kind of shape at all, Joe, that car could be worth 500, 600, maybe 1,000 over normal book right now. And yes, I want them to ask the question. I write their scripts too. What is normal book? That's a good question, Joe. Have you had it professionally appraised yet? Now, do you see what I'm saying? That's a good question, Joe. Have you had it professionally appraised yet? Because the guy's going to come down here. He's going to want 14,000 for his car. I said, oh, so Joe, you had it professionally appraised? No. Well, okay, so I'm a little confused here. Then the last 20 minutes since I taught you, did you stop somewhere to get it professionally appraised? And then I do the big thing about my used car manager appraises up 100 cars a week. He could do it in sleep, and I've seen them off $500, but never this much. I mean, geez, what do we do? I could get in negotiations all day long, but I motivate the person. I sell them on me. All right.
I like that. So
right now, if a person says, all I want is green, see, we got to learn to teach people to sell. Now, selling isn't, I do have green or I don't have green. If I don't have green, so all I want is green. Outside of green, Joe, what are your second and third color choices? So you have to learn to say, not, Joe, is there another color you might consider? Yes, no question.
So I'm going to jump in now because I have two questions and then we're going to shift gears.
I know.
Okay. First question is, do you believe that to be effective at handling phone-ups, incoming phone-ups, you have to be a combination of knowing what to say and being intuitive enough to say it? Does those two things really matter, or is it the same storyline on everybody?
No. Because you can be hit 100 different ways on phone-ups, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, only wants this color, only wants this model, has to get it today. There's so many different angles that people come from.
Intuitive.
Yes, so you have to be a little quick on your feet, and you have to have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D.
So when you train managers, right, because you're training the trainer when you train the manager, to a degree, you have to get them into this intuitive mindset. When you're in a store or a dealer group or an auditorium of 300 people or whatever you're doing, and you're going over nuts and bolts, here's what we say, here's why we say it. Do you drill them? Is it practice? Is it both? Is there homework? What in 90 seconds, give me that before we go on.
Okay, first of all, you're making me cry.
I know. 90 seconds is tough.
Yeah, well, 50 years, and the managers still think, I need you to train my people. No, you're the people. Everything starts at the top. What do they always say? Fish stinks from head down. When
certain parts of the country regularly, I think.
Early years, I used to do what they told me to do: train the people, train the salespeople. It's the managers that need to be trained first, because if the manager can't kill a phone up, knock it out of the park, meaning, then how can they tell if a salesperson or a BDC rep is doing the same? So the people at the top, the BDC managers got to be the best person on the phone in the dealership.
So now to the question.
Yeah.
Is it a combination of train the trainer, train the salesperson, drill them, homework to come back to the management with? Is it all the above? Have you figured out how to package that? Is that how you work it in today's world?
So if we're training phone ups,
yes, pay attention.
If we're training phone ups, I train everybody all at the same time, because if a salesperson has a problem with a certain technique, I want the managers to hear them say that and hear my response to that. And if the manager has a problem, I want him to come to me in front of his people I can solve it. But when I'm role playing individually, I role play managers separately than salespeople. I'll role play managers first, role play, because if they're going to screw up, I want them to screw up in front of other managers.
In a vacuum, not in front of their
salespeople.
Peers, not their salespeople.
Yep.
Okay, I like that.
So let's get you settled, and then we'll work with the salespeople and role play all together as a group. Okay. So that's first. Role play. And then, of course, a lot of dealerships record their incoming calls. So when I'm there, I'll listen to the incoming calls. I'll break it down. I'll pick 2 or 3 to play in the next morning sales meeting, and we'll evaluate and fix them live.
Okay. So now, in the interest of time, I have to shift gears.
Yep. Sorry.
Well, I apologize.
Man, I wish we could spend days doing it.
This part of the conversation is what I consider the nitrous button for success.
Yeah.
Because post-COVID, a lot of our own clients and people that I talk to on a regular basis are even the manufacturers, they're so fixated on first-time closing ratios.
Yeah.
There's manufacturers that force the dealership in question. Everybody in the district has to report how many ups came in and how many deals did they make.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
My belief is that our industry has a nitrous button that people have maybe moved a little bit away from, and that's unsold showroom traffic.
Oh, gosh.
Right? So now I'd like to move into that swim lane of phone activity where you're picking up the phone and doing something that not every generation likes today, right? Not everybody likes to dial the phone. Some get anxiety and some aren't sure what to say. But nevertheless, if I come in...
Did we explain that it was a sales position, Joe?
Well, yeah, we said that.
It means communicating. I mean,
perfect.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so now let's talk about unsold showroom traffic and try to put a bow around this thing, right? So the person, Bob comes in, goes through the process, doesn't buy the vehicle. Now you have a be-back opportunity. Do you believe that this is somebody that deserves to be contacted? And if so, what are the tactics and what is the goal?
Okay. Well, first of all, I am a believer of the, follow them up till they buy or die, right? I mean, that's
I agree
the
with
old,
that.
old
100%.
All right. Now, if you're following up with a customer, a couple things. I mean, like I said, I can't do the whole workshop, but a couple things to keep in mind. If you're calling somebody and following up with an unsold opportunity and they're not returning your call, 2 times, 3 times. You got to get somebody else to make the call. Get a sales manager to make the call. And his approach is, Mr. Levine, hi, this is Tom Stuker from ABC Chevrolet. I'm the sales manager here. I know you were in here talking with Bill Johnson, and Bill's been trying to get a hold of you because we have some good news for you. And I think we could put this together and help you with that purchase. But most importantly, has Bill offended you in any way? Has our salesperson literally pushed you away where you don't want to do business with us because of your interaction with Bill? You know what? At your convenience, give me a call because I want to make sure that our company does everything possible from every single employee.
That's great.
To
I
earn
like
your
that.
business.
So let me ask you this. Not everybody answers the phone in today's world.
You're right.
Are we better off? Because what do we know? Like, right? Data, right? Data matters. We have to pay attention to the data. And nationally, the data proves that over 90% of people that get a text out of a CRM will respond to it.
Okay.
So in your opinion, based on today's world, are we better off texting Mr. Levine first?
No.
Can we talk real quick and get permission to call?
No.
Why?
There's nothing that's better than a phone conversation. Nothing.
So what if you keep dialing and you get an answering machine?
No. I agree.
Voicemail.
No.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's a new voicemail out there, and I'm going to tell you about that in 2 seconds. First of all, call someone once, then call them back again. Call them back a 3rd time. Guess what? Your answer rate grows tremendously because
so hang up.
Yes,
so not wait a day.
Yeah,
you want 3 bullets in a row.
About a minute later, call them.
Okay.
Because some people are going, wow, they're really trying to get a hold of me. There must be something important. So the urgency gets moved exponentially on that 2nd, 3rd call. No, you're not beating the crap out of anybody. If they don't answer the 3rd time, then comes is the new voicemail, which is a video text. You do a video and text the video. You don't text, you do a text video, which is the new email out there. Well, excuse me, the new voicemail out there. Sorry.
Okay. So I
don't want salespeople. Salespeople going, well, nobody answers his phone. You're right. There's if you're calling me, Joe, I'll let it go to voicemail because you know what's nice? I read your voicemail. Right? I read, and I could be in a meeting. There's so many times I can't get a call, but I can always get a text. So texting is big.
So you believe the tactic is you call
first
and you get voicemail. You immediately call a second time.
Okay, well, but salespeople don't know what messages to
But
leave.
let's go through the tactic first, and then we'll talk about message. So I
Yes.
call, I get a voicemail. Second time I call, I get voicemail. I follow up right away. Third time I call and get voicemail. At that point, that's when I do this video message, which we're going to talk about substance and content in a moment, right?
Yep.
And then we email them. We either text or email, depending on how the CRM is set up. But that's what we send out as a contact message. Did I get the tactics right?
Well, phone first, because nothing is better than voice to voice like that, right? But again, I'll throw in the white towel, not whatever. I'll agree that texting is what people pay attention to.
Got it.
Multiple over.
So now let's talk about substance, right?
Okay, yeah.
Right,
So
because you're right. A lot of people trip on themselves. They get all that it's not a word.
No, here's the dumb.
Dumb goes with
The dumb messages are, we got a couple new ones in, or we want to take another look at your trade. First of all, you didn't close the deal when they're here, so don't try to close it on a voicemail. On a voicemail, you have one objective on a voicemail, and that's to get the person to call you back.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Please say that again. What is the ultimate objective on
Your
a
only
feedback
objective
call?
of leaving a message is to get them to call you back.
That's it?
That's it. That's it.
So now they call back, and what are you talking about?
Okay, well,
weather?
first of all, let's start with the message.
Got it.
If you're in play as an unsold opportunity, Joe, hey, this is Tom Stuker down at ABC Chevrolet. I've got some really good news for you. Can't wait to share it with you. Give me a call at your convenience. Just give me a call, right? So I'm excited. So since you're in, I found wait a minute. So I have some good news for you. Please call me at your earliest convenience. You're going to be happy, right? So when Joe calls me up, so what's the good news? See, that's the thing. A lot of people have taken this technique. I've taught it for 50 years, and people all over the country, they've got some good news. Somebody calls, so what's the good news? Well, I just wanted you to call me back, Joe. I mean, where's
I know. That's the problem.
Where's the trust there, right? So
doesn't exist.
So I'm dealing with a con man. So Joe calls me back and says, what's the good news? And this is what you say. You know, Joe, since I saw you last, or since I talked to you last, I found a couple vehicles that'll be less expensive for you. That's all you say. Because Joe only has 4 different comebacks. One is, what other vehicles are how much less expensive, which is really the same thing. Another one is, we decided to go elsewhere, which you frantically say, have you taken delivery yet? Another one is, I don't want, we bought a car. And then the last one is, I don't want another car. I want the blue one. And then they reemphasize their conditions for sale. I don't want another car. The blue one, if you get my payment at $350, or if you could throw in this, or if you can get my financing down to 4% or whatever. So that's the whole idea, is to get the person to call you back. But you can't come up with some BS like, well, the good news is we got a truckload of men. They're not interested in the truckload. They're interested in the blue one. And you have to find that out. How do you find that out? Since I taught you last, I found a couple vehicles that'd be less expensive for you.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Tom. I want to play this.
Yeah.
I want to play with this.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, Tom, because I'm sure to get my payment down, we have to pull things out of the vehicle. It's not my first rodeo, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna decontent me. Well, I'm not going for that.
Yeah.
I've been down the street. I went to XYZ. They got my payment down $35 a month. I'm willing to give you a shot at my business because you're more local to me than the $35 a month less guy. But I don't know how to get around that. What do you think? What would you do if you were me?
Well, first of all, Joe, you have a lot of options. If money is the number one factor, then let's forget the $35. Let's try to save you more, right? Which is, he's not expecting.
Say that again.
Joe, if money is the number one factor, if your monthly payment is the number one factor, then let's get off the $35 and let's try to find a way to save you more than that.
Boom.
Right? So what do you mean? Well, first of all, if I could find you a similar vehicle,
right,
maybe even nicer, and keep the budget the same that you have with the $35 less, or even lower, would you entertain other vehicles? I mean, because what I'm asking you, Joe, I want you to think about this. What do you want more? Do you want, because I know I'm at 400, the other guy's at 365. Do you want the best deal you can on the car you saw at my dealership? Or do you want me to help get the best car I can for $365 a month?
Wow.
Or maybe even $350.
No one's ever asked me that before. I like how you think, Tom.
Yeah.
I like how you think. You know, I've never bought a car from you guys before, but that's an interesting way to. Ruh-roh! I just committed to coming in to see him, didn't I? Didn't I?
Well, here's the thing. Why don't you just sit in the customer's shoes just for a second? The guy's really concerned about. So don't play any games. And
Right.
I say, Joe, you know, we've been in business for 63 years.
Right.
We're on our third or fourth generation of families selling cars. You don't do that. You don't do that by charging the most. You don't do that by not having great relationships with customers. And at the end of the day, right, if we're talking about a couple dollars a month or something like that, I mean, really, this is the second largest purchase outside of a home. Why are you stressing yourself?
Agree with you 100%. You just actually wrapped up the show for me. You made my job a lot easier. I can't ask the boss for a bonus now. Well, that's wrong. I think you just hit the nail on the head. It's a simple business that people love to overcomplicate. The goal is really simple, whether it's an inbound or an outgoing phone up. The goal is to be able to get people structured enthusiastically, right? To be able to come in and do business with you, because after they do business with you, in closing, because we do have to wrap this up.
Give me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds.
I'm gonna give you 30 seconds, then I'm gonna ask you the final question, and then they're gonna play us out.
The best advice I could give to someone right now in 30 seconds or less to build their career is quit focusing on how to handle the tough customers and focus on how to create the easy ones. Repeats, referrals, the person that
100% agree.
I mean, we'll talk about that.
And I'm gonna leave you with this, which is gonna set up, and you really have been amazing to be here, and thank you. It's my grovel time. It's grovel time.
Yeah, no, you don't have to grovel to me, buddy.
And you'd be willing to spend some more time with us?
Oh, but man, I love it.
Perfect.
You know what? You cut my arm and oil comes out. I'm a car guy.
So last question. And please listen to this one. Here it comes. After you sell that vehicle to that person, you're done, right? You don't ask them for anything else? Because you asked for a referral on a phone up. Are you going to do it again at delivery?
Yes. You do it
Why?
at delivery. Because,
Pay attention.
come on, they're at the dealership. You have total control. They just signed 27 forms that they never even read. And I think you have control. Oh, you know what, Joe? One more thing. You know, before I let you go, I get almost all my business from repeats and referrals from people like yourself. And Joe, all my customers always do one thing for me before they leave. Now, understand, the key is all. They go, all? That's me, no exception. Before they leave, got to do it now. What is it, right? Joe, all my customers always do one thing for me before they leave. Joe, what I need is 3 prospects. They don't have to be a hot prospect, just the best you come up with. Friends, relatives, neighbors, someone you've talked to recently that one of these days might be thinking about some type of vehicle for themselves. Go ahead, take your time. I'm going to go to the business office and see if we can speed things up so we can get you on your way. But go ahead, take your time. I'll go get things going in the business office.
Ding.
Yeah.
Amazing. And
then
can't
you do
wait.
the 3-day follow-up call.
I'm so looking forward to continuing our time and dialogue in upcoming episode or episodes, if you're willing. Thank you very much. Here's my one last thing for this episode. Tom Stuker is an icon. Pay attention to this gentleman. Ask the questions. His contact information, right? We're going to make sure everybody knows how to contact you.
The innovator of the BDC?
Yeah, of course. We're going to do everything that we possibly can because we want people educated. To that end, thank you for taking the time to listen, watch, participate. Hit us with questions. I'll make sure, you have my personal guarantee, you send us any kind of contact information, or I have a question, or how do we do this, or how do we do that, or how do I overcome this? Tom will get him that question or questions, and we'll make sure that you answer them, every one of them.
You know, we're talking to the next Grant Cardone, the next Tom Stuker, anybody. You are on your way. Just keep watching our podcast, man.
There it is. Thank you so much. Car Guy Simple, the podcast for everybody in the car business. We'll see you real soon, and thank you for your time.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and at carguysimple.com to learn more and see behind-the-scenes action. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, we'd love to hear from you. Feel free to send Joe an email at joe@carguysimple.com. This is the Car Guy Simple podcast. See you next time.